Welcome back, Dominators. I'm really happy to be able to record another video for you after a long time of being offline and being unable to have or to gather enough time to make a video for you. So now, after I think right about around 3 months of being less active, I have some more spare time, especially over the holidays. So I decided to make another video and refer to a request which have been posted some time ago. So someone asked or requested about the museum and about the artifacts, especially about upgrading artifacts to a higher stage. And meanwhile, I did some progress at my own artifacts. I gathered some which seemed to be pretty valuable for my own purposes, and also upgraded some of them to maximize my own profit. I'm not pretty sure, so I have invested no more money, not a single cent. I'm not pretty sure whether some of you probably have invested some money, so are some further ahead of me. But for some free-to-play players, I can say even without spending any money, you are definitely able to get some very good artifacts in the museum, which I will show to you later. First, I will do a little sum up, which I already also did in the German video. So for all probably German-speaking people who have already seen my last, I think, Let's Farm episode, you can skip right up to the middle of the video. For all others, my base is still Atomic Age, despite of my intentions, which are pretty old already, to skip or to go on and enter the Cold War age. But I recognize that over the complete Atomic Age, I did not build the force market, market and mill, and so I had to build them in the very last stages of the Atomic Age. Previously, I did not have to use them, so I was always able to use some discounts to upgrade, for example, the tank depots and other pretty expensive buildings. So now I have pretty changed my tactics, because playing right around 4 years with the same tactic, with the same troops, got some kind of monotone, and some kind of boring, and therefore I changed to heavy tank attacks. I feel pretty comfortable with heavy tank attacks, and I will upload some videos. Some of you most obviously will be more experienced with heavy tank attacks than I am, so feel free to comment and give any issues or any concerns you feel. So far about my upgrades, currently I'm really focusing at the heavy tanks, so I'm conducting the research at Leonardo da Vinci to get the hit points as well as the damage up, which is consuming enormously amounts of time. So the resources which are needed to conduct this research are pretty low, but the days keep on with 5 days, and I'm not pretty sure where they will end, probably at 10 days. Or even more in the last stages of the upgrade. We will see. I also upgrade my first aid and my protection tactics, which I did not use that much previously. So hopefully this will end in some interesting attacks. But now let's talk about the artifacts, which the video mainly is about. We have first the main hall, and with one of our last, I think, balance updates, also the Worldwar hall got implemented. So we are also able to use some Worldwar artifacts, which are completely separated of our ordinary artifacts and have nothing they have nothing to do with each other. At our ordinary artifacts, we are distinguishing between 3 stages. We have a lot of categories, so such as redoubt hit points, redoubt damage, air defense hit points, air defense damage for all troops, also for economic purposes. And all of these stages, which each artifact has 5 about, can be can be distinct in percentages of about 1, 6 and 11%, whereby 11% most obviously is the highest stage. No matter which of these distinctions you have, you can all of them upgrade and research for an additional 10 times. So you can end up with starting by +1 and doing all researches about 10, ending up at 11, 16 or even 21% for this stage or for this attribute. Yes, attribute, for this attribute. At our Worldwar artifact, it's quite other way around. We have not that high percentages. We are starting at 1%, which is the low stage of 3 possible, equal to our ordinary artifacts, but the second stage is not plus or minus 6%, it is 3%, and the last stage, which would be 11% in our ordinary artifacts, are only 6% in Worldwar, because Worldwar, obviously, artifacts would get too powerful if they would have the same percentages. If we click at an artifact, you can see 5 gambling signs at the right side, which are showing a dice, and if you are clicking at the dice, you see you can reroll a specific attribute of an artifact, and this will cost about 100 crowns. Rerolling always costs 100 crowns, so it is not stacking up, it will always cost 100 crowns, but if you are rerolling one of the categories or attributes of an artifact, all of the others are getting blocked. So choose wisely, because if you have already rerolled one of them, all of the others are unable to getting swapped or switched, and they have to stay how they are actually. Another pretty interesting information about rerolling our attributes, or the one attribute of each artifact, is if you are rerolling it, it is not getting only another percentage or only another attribute itself. Everything is getting rerolled, so you can get a complete another attribute and another percentage. So quite everything about this attribute is changing, not only the percentage or the effect itself only. Also, artifacts are pretty much distinguishing themselves by the amount of stars or the level the artifacts have. Most obviously, most of the artifacts we are unlocking are at star or level 1, and you can unlock them to level 2, 3, 4 and even 5. All of these unlockings will get more cost intensive consecutively. So if we have a level 1 artifact, trying to unlock it to stage 2, we need about 400 of our supplies. So if you are clicking, which is very helpful, at the left top side of the screen, you can see all prices for unlocking new stages. We have over here unlocking 2 stars needs only 400 supplies, which is not that hard to gather. If you try to unlock or to get one of your level 2 artifacts to a level 3, you will need 600 of the supplies, which is also pretty easy conductable. But if you want to get it to 4 stars, you need 800 supplies, which is quite a lot. But you also need some researchers. I think these are researchers. And these researchers are not that handy to get. So personally, I don't have that many researchers. I only got 296 because I destroyed one legendary 5-star artifact. Same with getting an artifact to 5-star. Over here you need in the sum 1000 supplies, which is already a lot, but it's completely okay. But then you also need benefactors, which are these ladies with the pink hats, and you need 200 of them. And to gather benefactors quite needs a lot of time or even equally money. My personal choice is to go to the dock and do some explorations, because over here you are able to get some benefactors as well as researchers. Now let's keep in mind we have an expedition over here which lasts for 2 days and needs 4 citizens to being bound to this expedition, and it will give you 81 researchers or even nine benefactors, whereby the 9 benefactors only last 1 day and need 3 citizens, I see, actually. Now if we compare that to unlock only, or to get only 1 out of all of our artifacts to stage 4, we already need 175 researchers, which means we should, or we need to do more than 2, mostly 3, expeditions of that kind, which we saw already, to be able to get 1 artifact upgraded. We are only getting a very low amount of benefactors by doing expeditions, so we have to do a really bunch of expeditions to get enough benefactors to upgrade 1 artifact to stage 5. What is the core information I want to transmit to you? Be pretty patient and think wisely which artifacts to upgrade. Upgrade them to stage 1, 2 and 3 will be completely okay. Supplies are not that hard to get. But if there is an artifact and you intend to upgrade it to stage 4 or even 5, make sure it is an artifact which is completely worth to do, because otherwise you are wasting a lot of very valuable materials which you could spend otherwise. So only to make an example which is actual for me, I have over here this necklace, Monil necklace, and it has already all resources looted plus 16%, enemy air defense hit points minus 7%, all resources looted plus 8%, and then I can get, no, it is not actually. It is Plato's Vase, sorry. It is air defense hit points plus 9, catapult hit points plus 9, anti-tank gun hit points plus 1, but now air defense hit points plus 11%. I definitely want to get these additional 11%, and I want to unlock this, but some supplies are missing to me, and it is definitely wise, I think, to upgrade it. Therefore, this is the only artifact I have currently, which I'm planning to get to 4 stars, because it's worth for me, and I'm also able to re-roll all of the attributes, because I have not done any of them yet. Now, to level up the attributes themselves, so to get to higher percentages within one of our attributes of our artifacts, needs at least resources, mostly gold and food, sometimes for Worldwar, I think, oil, and some of these blueprints. Same as with our supplies, if you hit to the blueprints, you can see a detailed list what it costs like to upgrade to the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and finally the 10th upgrade of an artifact. So we have 40, 400, 600, 800, 1000. It's already getting pretty expensive. 1400, 1800, 2000, and at least 2400 blueprints to get 1 attribute of 1 artifact up to stage 10 to unlock the final percentage. Now, to research all 10 stages or all 10 levels of 1 attribute of 1 artifact costs about 10,000, right around 10,000. It's 10,440 blueprints. Now, if we see we have 5 attributes, so we have to multiply by 5, so we will end up at least 51,000 blueprints to get 1 artifact completely researched. And then you can pretty easy extrapolate to all of your artifacts. It consumes a lot of blueprints to get all artifacts done. Same as with our researchers and benefactors. Choose wisely which artifact it is at least worth to upgrade. Now, for all free-to-play players like me, how can we get the most blueprints? It's pretty obvious. Blueprints we are, so far as I know, only able to get by destroying artifacts we already have. Now, the more artifacts we have and destroy, the more blueprints we are getting. So the next question should be, how can we get as many artifacts as possible? And this is easy by crafting, and never craft only 1 artifact. Always craft 5 of them, because you are saving of about 5%, I think. So in total, you are saving 5 of these pieces to get at least 5 artifacts, and most of them, if you have already some very good, are pointless to you, and you can destroy to get more materials to upgrade and level your current artifacts. Now about the artifacts themselves, there is not pretty many recommendations from my side to do. I mean, everyone has to know which artifact bonuses he or she prefers at their own. Which artifact bonuses I can only really recommend are such as all resources looted, because in my opinion they are better than only oil, gold or food, because they include obviously all 3 of them. Same goes for the air defense, which are getting as well, so the hit point increase as well as the damage increase are very valuable. The defender damage is definitely, and the defender hit points are pretty sensible, which is equal for all players. Same is for our fighter hit points. The fighter damage, in my opinion, is only secondary interesting. Mostly our hit points are valuable. And at least I think probably the catapult hit points should be interesting, or tower hit points and tower attack, because fighter planes are getting more and more important the higher your age is, and therefore you should definitely care about them. All of the other artifacts and bonuses are pretty due to the personal preferences of a player. Now to sum this video up, or to get a nice end, I can show you all of my artifacts, and because it consumes too much time to show all of them in detail, I can show you the sum of all of my artifacts in my list. And you are pretty welcome to give me some feedback how you have chosen your artifacts, how high your bonuses are, because it is pretty hard for myself to compare my own artifacts with other players without staying in contact with them. So we have all resources looted plus 45%. I'm pretty proud to this. I'm not a British player, so I don't have an ordinary boost. This is the only boost I get, and it's currently near to 50%, which helps me a lot by oil rating. Air defense damage plus 11, defender damage plus 15, fighter damage plus 11, invading ranged siege, so howitzers minus 8, defender spawn time minus 11, air defense hit points plus 9, anti-tank gun hit points plus 1, catapult hit points plus 9, defender hit points plus 16, enemy air defense plus 7, invading fighters hit points minus 8, fighter hit points of my own, so plus 15, invading generals minus 11 HP, heavy tanks plus H percent, and readout hit points plus 11%. And for my Worldwar attributes, artifacts, we have air defense damage plus 9, bazooka damage plus 6, enemy catapult damage minus 2, heavy tank damage plus 4, air defense hit points plus 8, all enemy defensive tower hit points minus 8, all defense towers hit points plus 5, invading heavy tank hit points minus 5, invading heavy infantry minus 3, hit points, ranged infantry hit points plus 9, and ranged siege hit points plus 8%. Another question, I'm not pretty sure whether any one of you knows, but over here is counted or described all enemy defensive towers hit points. What defensive towers are meant? I mean, anti-tank towers, ordinary towers. Are air defenses counted as towers? I don't think so. Redoubts also not. Catapults or mortars also should not be. So are they meaning with all enemy with all defensive towers, no matter whether enemy or my own, are meant with this description all of the ordinary towers as well as the cannon towers, so the anti-tank guns, or even more of them? I'm not pretty sure. So far for the information video about the artifacts, give me some comment below whether you found it informative, and we will see us soon.